everyone's looking for the young guy. They're looking for McVay. I think take a shot out Todd Bowles, get him a second shot at head coach, and see if he can do it.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
It's crazy. And our kids will know how great Tom Brady is because he's going to be playing.
Yes, it is 15.0%.
That's what the Yankees brought Garrett Cole to do.
He was a 6th-round pick. This is a fairy tale story that's being written in front of our eyes.
People like to call them their JV team, and they just stole one of their better players.
They didn't struggle against the Padres. The Padres didn't really put up a fight in most of the games.
Jerry Jones, hope you're listening.
Hi, I'm Landon Bowe, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man leading this discussion, Austin.
Yeah, today we're obviously talking about the MLB All-Star Game. We already talked about what happened in the game, but this is more of a general conversation comparing it to other All-Star games around other leagues and how we enjoy watching it. Do we watch it? Should we watch it? Should any of you guys watch it? But what are your thoughts about the All-Star Game this year?
I think, so I didn't watch it, but something I like is how they have mic'd up players and they do it throughout the game. That's something I know they do during Sunday Night Baseball, which is kind of shocking because that game matters. But I really like having different players' perspectives. I didn't watch it, but to me, it's out of all the other All-Star games, it's the one I would watch first.
So of NBA, NHL, NFL, you'd choose the MLB All-Star Game to watch.
Like Pro Bowl, not really as fun. It's different. NBA one's not fun. I really love the mic'd up player aspect while still doing the game.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a great touch. And I'm intrigued by the fact that how those players pay attention to the game. I've seen it happen during usual, just regular season games. I remember not that long ago, the Yankees were playing in Boston, and Rob Refsnyder was mic'd up mid-game. And I'm like, this is in-game. Why is this happening? I think it's nothing really happened to him, and no ball was actually hit towards him, so it didn't actually affect play. But I like it, but at the same time, as someone who used to play, thinking through, okay, what would I do if I was having to have a conversation while focusing on hitting or focusing on playing a certain position in the field? But I do enjoy it in this aspect because if you make an error, who cares?
Yeah, and I love it from the pitcher's perspective because you definitely wouldn't do that during a game where it mattered, but it's fun when it's the All-Star game.
Well, you definitely wouldn't do it now that PitchCom is a thing, and now that you're actually getting told what pitch in your ear, it really wouldn't work. But yeah. But I think that's something that the MLB does that other leagues don't. Is while yes, I don't necessarily agree with how they vote players in or how they get players in because I think players that don't deserve it get in. I do enjoy that we get to see almost everybody play an equal amount of time. When I'm watching the NBA All-Star Game for the few moments, LeBron is still playing a very large portion of the game. I'm not getting to see that 13th All-Star, 12th All-Star spot, the reserve guy, play more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely great, and definitely before the Rangers had like 5 players in it starting, it was always great to see like one guy, Joey Gallo, make it and to see him get some time, or even Kyle Gibson pitching an inning.
And I think that, for example, what really illustrates this better than I think any other league is maybe besides NHL, but name another league, Kevin, where a guy like Elias Diaz could be a all-star MVP. A guy that didn't start, wasn't really projected to be it, was deserving. I thought he deserved to be the Rockies all-star, so he deserved to be there. But that's not a guy you really think of a guy who could win all-star MVP.
Yeah, it really shocked me, and like we talked about before, I was like, I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, he definitely deserved it. He was a guy we said he should have made it. I was expecting the MVP to be like a high caliber player, like it is in other games.
And
Like,
yeah, it's not to say that Elias Diaz isn't a high caliber player, but he's just not one of those front page guys that you really expect to try or really go overboard to try to win an MVP. And I do think it's harder to win an All-Star MVP in this sport than it is any other.
yeah, I agree, and it's someone that doesn't get a lot of look because he's on a really bad team.
And I think that's a good thing for the league. It brings not only noticeability to him, but also to the team that he's on, because the Rockies haven't got much love this year. I would say that's a lot of the management's fault for not committing either way. So they're just a bad team in the midst of also having old guys on the roster, so it just looks ugly. But this is the one of maybe the few positives that the Rockies will have this season is Elias Diaz and his All-Star MVP game.
Yeah, that's something I feel the All Star game does well is marketing their players, like giving them time, you giving them personalities to the game, like we talked about with mic'd players, and this definitely gives a marketability of anyone can really win the All Star game MVP.
Yeah. And here's why I also kind of want to get to the All-Star game to the bad side. This is part of the game, the jerseys. I would say
Man,
of the four leagues, the MLB does the jerseys the worst.
yeah, it's really bad. They because they used to do like just a team jersey. Like,
Yes, just like the
right?
NBA used to
They
do
should
in
just
other
do that.
leagues. It's bad. But I don't know who is their uh, guy that decides, or girl for that matter, that decides what the jersey should be. But it's not clicking with me.
Yeah, especially like I said in the other video, it was tough. It's just green and it didn't match up well. I guess they were trying to go with Seattle, but that really wasn't working out. Um, they should just do very distinct, different colors or do own jerseys. But I guess that affects the marketability of they want to make money from an All Star jersey.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do that, at least make them look fun or new, or make them easy to see. The problem with the jerseys is that the leagues have their own color and their own like feel. But like for East and West in the NBA, you know that the West is red, in the East is blue. But here, them tying it to Seattle to the point of which team is the AL, I have
Yeah.
no idea. It just makes it to where almost you should just go like the NBA does and just draft your teams.
That would be fun in that context. But yeah, they should also maybe just do different, way different type of jerseys, have an AL thing, but also their team name because that's something I'm interested in. I like seeing. I think they did do different ball caps though, right? Or a team ball cap.
I don't think the ball caps were different except for the logo on them.
Okay,
I think
got
the
it.
logo was the team that they played for, but the ball cap was the same color as the everything else.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely the jerseys. It's something we've just made fun of the entire time they've switched the jerseys. They've just never been good.
Yeah, I do think that's been a problem with the MLB. What would you like to see changed? Whether it be format, besides obviously jerseys we just talked about. Is there anything on the format or voting that you would like to see changed?
Not really. I don't really know what they could to do improve it. The All Star game, I don't really care about, but it to
They
me,
could. What I think they could do for an All Star game is kind of like the NFL does. You know how the NFL is not even doing
yeah,
football anymore. They could try to spice it up to where Savannah Banana rules or something like that, where it's more uh, friend or user friendly. For example, a Savannah Banana rule that I learned just today: if a fan catches a foul ball,
oh yeah,
it's an
Savannah.
out. That would be very cool if in the All-Star game only, a game-winning catch was caught by a fan in the stands or something like that. I think they could kind of spice it up like that.
Yeah, I like Savannah. Those are cool. I always see them on like TikTok. I wouldn't really change the rule. I like it in baseball. I just like more. Maybe they do like a minimum number that they have to hit in the score. Like whoever hits reaches three first makes it, or I don't know, something like
The
that.
problem with that is that both teams have to hit, right?
Hmm.
So if a team reaches 5 and the limit's 5, do they win before the other team gets to hit? But if the other team gets to hit, do you get to go over 5? Also, the last 2 years, which I do think is more the problem, is just like the parity between pitching and hitting. It's like, do you even reach 5? And if you don't, how long do you go on? Is it only 9, or is it until someone reaches 5? Uh, I would like to see some kind of change because I do think the 2-1 scores and the 3-2 scores and all these low scores are the reason why the viewership is down. Because I'm sure that you weren't even all that intrigued to watch the game.
Yeah, no, I had plans, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. I saw a brief glimpse, which was cool, but yeah, I'm more interested in the events, but it's definitely the one I would watch the most just to get like different interviews. I really like hearing that those different type of players, but I don't really have a specific change that they really need to make.
Yeah, I do think that makes the players more personable.
And it's just fun. Like you never get to see that other times.
I agree.
But yeah, anything else you would like to? What would you like to see change?
Maybe try some different rules. Maybe partner up with Savannah Bananas and try to get some of their rules into the All Star game. The only reason why I say that is like for the NBA, don't they have a 4 point line in the All Star game now, or am I just making that up out of
I
nowhere?
I don't know. I thought maybe they do. I
I
can't
know they
really
have
tell
a
you, but
4 point line in the 3 point competition. Basically, that's like technically a 3 point line, but you take
or
it
like the
from
Mountain Dew
deeper.
balls.
Yeah. Trying to spice it up. I just feel like with a low scoring game, it's very hard to make it enjoyable to the casual viewer because pitching is much more of a hardcore baseball fan uh, than a casual one. What just wants to see bombs. They just want to see homers. They just want to see base stealing. They just like to see fancy catches. But maybe different rules or how they decide on how teams are made. Maybe you get a draft. Maybe the captains of the teams are the last 2 players in the home run derby, or the captains for each team, or some different way to kind of make or make people watch. Because I don't think the trend downwards of viewership is going to stop because of how the All Star game has really turned out.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing, and I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, we'll see what they do next year. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.